Number 18, Oklahoma traveling to Knoxville to play number 14, Tennessee. 7:30 ESPN, ABC at night. Neyland Stadium. Tennessee, 3-point favorites currently in this game right now. We got Josh Heupel obviously on the sidelines for Tennessee, welcoming in his alma mater, where they went to Norman last year and they got the job done. I think it was 29-15, kind of a breakout game for that offense. And obviously we saw what Oklahoma turned into last year, and that was the game they put in Michael Hawkins, and nothing went well. Tennessee is 26-0 straight up as a home favorite since 2021. They've covered 16 of those games. Tennessee's rush D is the very little strength of that defense that struggled this year. It's not the same Tennessee defense of the past couple of years, but because of that, I don't think OU is going to be able to run the ball. Like, they ran the ball a little bit better against South Carolina a couple weeks ago. They broke off a couple runs against Ole Miss, but because that Tennessee rush D is really good, I don't think that OU is going to be able to run the ball. So can John Mateer, can he dice up that secondary? Because we've seen quarterbacks take advantage of that secondary. I think I read something, it's coming on the top of my mind right now. I think I read something, Jermod McCoy, game time decision. He might be back. I know Ricky Gibson's still out, so they've had some injuries in that secondary. Can he dice him up, or is he going to continue to create some of those turnover worthy plays that he's kind of done all year? And it's up to the defense to take advantage of it. He's only played in 2 road games. He's only played at Temple and at South Carolina.
At noon. This is South Carolina at noon.
Yeah, and this is going to be a different animal for him for sure.
That's what I'm most fascinated to see here, man. Like, Mateer's a dog. We know that, as far as like tough-minded. He's just a tough guy in general, playing through that broken hand. Really good athlete. But I have no idea what he will be like in a moment to where you can't hear yourself think, everything's just snowballing against you type deal. Like, if you make, like, again, like you're talking about the turnover-worthy plays. You turn the football over in that place, in Neyland Stadium at night, and things can get bad in a hurry there, which is the reason why you just read that record out loud of what Tennessee is. Like, I've said it ad nauseum on this podcast over the years, the 3 years that we've been doing this together. One of the biggest home road dichotomy teams in college football is Tennessee. They're so good at home, and they're just not as good on the road. I know that's a lot of teams aren't as good on the road as they are at home, but they're so much better at home than they are on the road. Like, literally all of their losses over the last 3.5 years have come on the road. They've only lost 2 home games in the last 3.5 years, both to the same team, Georgia. And you mentioned that record against, as far as straight up at home as a favorite, they're very rarely an underdog at home. It's rare. Maybe when Alabama every now and then, or like I said, Georgia a couple of times. That's it. So getting Tennessee at a -3 price like this at home is rare, to be honest with you, in a spot like this. But this is borderline. I still think that Oklahoma would have a outside chance at 9-3, but it would be tough to make up for it because, again, Oklahoma still has to play Missouri. They still have to play Alabama at the end of the year. They still have to play LSU. They've got that win against Michigan in the non-conference. But this is virtually a playoff game at this point between these two teams. If Tennessee loses, they're out. I don't think they could make up for it with what they've got the rest of their schedule. They'd be out. Oklahoma, very outside chance, but still don't think that they probably would get in at that point. So, it's basically a virtual playoff game that we've got this Saturday night. As far as the matchup is concerned, that's really where it starts. Oklahoma's offensive line is not good. I'll mention it again, like I mentioned last week. They're one of the worst offensive lines in all of college football last year. Now they're just not any good on the offensive line. They're better than what they were last year, but they're still just not any good. I don't think they're going to be able to run the football against this Tennessee defensive front. Tennessee still does have a very solid defensive front. They're one of the best. They're top 5 in the country in sacks. They're one of the best teams in the country in tackles for a loss. That's because they're good up front. But they are awful in the secondary because of injuries. That's been killing them. So if they do get McCoy back, that is such a huge boost for this Tennessee defense and could be a massive, massive impact in this game. Oklahoma defensively, it was pretty eye-opening to see how they basically got gashed last week by Ole Miss. And that's a really good offense. By far the best offense they have faced this year. We talked about, like, and I mentioned last week going into that game how Auburn, Michigan, who was it, Texas, and a few of those other, South Carolina, multiple teams that Oklahoma had played up to that point at the Power Four level were honestly ranked, like the highest ranked offense of any of those teams was Michigan, but none of those teams could throw the football. And obviously, Ole Miss exposed them last week. They did, and Tennessee has obviously the offense to be able to do the same. Surprise, surprise! Josh Heupel's offense is ranked in the top 5 in the country again in total offense, averaging over 500 yards per game this year, just like almost every year that he's been a head coach, dating back to his days at UCF. So Oklahoma, with Tennessee, it starts with being able to slow down their running game. Josh Heupel's offenses are not the high-flying type offenses that everybody thinks they are, the casuals think they are. They're a run-first offense. They want to pound the football with those 2 or 3 tailbacks that they got that are all really good, and then they want to take shots down the field off of play action with you. You got to be able to stop the run. Good news for Oklahoma. They got one of the best defensive fronts, if not the best defensive front in all of college football. My problem with Oklahoma is I have no idea, man, if that secondary can cover Tennessee in space, because that's what you're going to have to do against Josh Heupel's offenses. They're going to put you out on islands in space, make you cover every single inch of that field from a width standpoint and down the field. And what I saw last week in one game against an offense that can really stretch the field, they had problems against that Ole Miss offense, either pass interferences or they couldn't cover them. Either one or the other. So I don't know if that's just what Oklahoma's defense is against the better offenses, or if that's something that one of the best defensive minds in our lifetime, Brent Venables, can fix in 1 week. So I've got a best bet in this game.
Me too.
Yep. I'm taking Tennessee minus
too.
3. Yep, in this game. Until Tennessee shows me that they're going to lose a game at home to a team not named Georgia, I'm just going to back them at home in Knoxville.
Heupel's
And
never lost as a home favorite.
right.
I know that was 2021, all that, but since he's been there in 2022, he's never lost as a home favorite either. So,
Yes, I mean,
yeah.
If it happens, it happens. That the odds are in our favor on this. But it's not just like I'm not, like, as you know, like I'm not the biggest like trends guy. Like I do like talking about them and looking into them, but I don't bet on games mostly because of a trend. But that's obviously one that you're just like, okay, it's undefeated. If it loses, it loses. We'll be on the wrong side of history if it loses. But I like the matchup for Tennessee as well in this game. Like I'm more about the matchups themselves. I think the biggest mismatch in this game is Tennessee's defensive line, not defense, but their defensive line versus Oklahoma's offensive line. And I think it's going to put Mateer in really tough spots, and he's going to be running for his life. They're not going to be able to run the football from the traditional running game with the running back. And I just think that's tough, man, when you go on the road in a hostile environment like this at night, if you can't run the football. So I'll take the Vols minus 3 in this game, and for Josh Heupel to go 2-0 against his former squad.
All right, that's it for us. Week 10 is upon us. It's going to be a fun week. We got week 11 already on deck. We're already thinking about a lot of those games, catching a lot of early lines. We'll be back on Sunday night, Monday morning for a little guest spread, give you some early lines. We'll give our reaction to whatever happens this Saturday, November 1st, and what happens on Halloween night with Rice taking on Memphis. So we'll be back on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. For Lance Barton, I'm Tyler Noe. Take care. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.